And if you've obviously seen the Harvard website in the last couple of weeks where they kind of redesigned the whole thing, talked about their impact on health and advancement in the world, right? Even though you don't believe
Harvard's not making the impact. The impact is coming from
individual researchers,
brilliant scientists
right?
who are doing great work, who would be delighted to do their work elsewhere, right? And if Harvard takes away science funding, if the federal government takes away science funding at Harvard,
you think they'll just move somewhere else, and
they'll go to Vanderbilt, they'll go to Duke, they'll go to Dartmouth, they'll go elsewhere. And Harvard is a bunch of old buildings, some nice real estate, and great faculty and students. And if the faculty are portable, the students don't have to apply, and it's a bunch of old buildings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the board at Harvard, which you've been a critic of. Governing boards, though, at colleges and universities, probably there's many people in this room who sit on their governing boards of their universities. They're kind of balancing many constituencies, including alumni. Shouldn't they have the final say over how a university is run?
The board has the final say in how the university is run, and the federal government can decide where to put their money.
Okay.
There's no entitlement to funding at Harvard. I mean, it's very disingenuous for Harvard to put up a website and saying the government's funding cures for cancer, when a very high percentage of the dollar is going to cover wasteful overhead, right, and going to cover degree programs that are advancing ideologies that are anti-American. Right? Should the federal government fund a private university that is teaching students to be anti-capitalist, the core sort of principles of America? Right? Harvard can do that as a private university, but should federal dollars? Money is fungible.
Right.
So the notion is the federal government money is only going to fund breakthrough research. It's just false.
But don't you? I mean, first of all, about a third of Harvard graduates every year go into finance. Do you really think they're teaching them to be anti-capitalist?
I'm not worried about well, let's put it this way. They're not in the Middle Eastern Studies department. They're not in the Social Studies department. They're not in the Gender Studies department. They're not into the history department, or
right, but
some
isn't
may
that
be.
part of the problem here is that some of these issues are, focused in certain departments, not the entire campus.
Yes.
And again, the federal government
100%.
is pulling these levers
Yes.
that are affecting scientists. And if you talk to any of these scientists, they're like, we have nothing to do with this, and now suddenly my funding is gone.
They do have something to do with it.
And you think they could pressure the university to do
Absolutely.
something about it?
Okay, what's happening now is the people that caused the problem are causing harm to the people that didn't cause the problem. Now, I would argue the faculty should be responsible for itself. And a lot of scientists said, look, I'm just going to focus on my research. I'm going to let the university, do its thing, and I'm just going to stay focused. And when you're a member of an institution, you're a member of a faculty body, and there's a subset of the faculty body, which might only be 10% of the faculty, that's taking the university down, you should do something about it.